My next guest makes her long-awaited pro debut at Maverick MMA 27 on March 23rd. She is Brittany Sunshine Bickhart. How's it going today, Brittany?
Going great. Thank you for having me.
So let's start off with the nickname Sunshine. Where did it come from?
Actually, it was like back when I was in college. Well, I've always kind of been like a sunshine gal. I always like to be outside tanning with my roommates, and I loved, just like, kind of like happy-go-lucky. And there's like this reggae song, and I like reggae, and it's called Sunshine. And basically, long story short, my roommate's like, that should be your fight name. That's like fits you perfectly. Like, and started calling me like Sunshine, and it kind of just stuck. So back from when I was in college.
Awesome. Yeah, my college nicknames did not stick around, and I'm glad. I was a partier, so my nicknames were not always the best. So after putting together a 4-1 record on the MMA career, you've been in an uphill battle. I kind of said it before we even hit record to make this pro debut. You've signed to Invicta. You've signed to LFA. You've signed to 247. Now you finally have a fight. We're a week away. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything's crossed that this goes through. Has the delays at all been like a morale hit, or has this just been like fueling the debut itself?
After the first delay with LFA, it was kind of like more of fuel. I was like, all right, well, it got me like jump started into, mindset of being in a camp. And then after 247, that was kind of like a bigger blow. But all in all, I think like I'm not the only one to go through things in life, and it's kind of just is what it is, and you have to kind of take it that way. And I think that's kind of like where character really shows when things don't go your way and how you respond. And it's, I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. And my mindset going into this fight, I do not believe would have been the same had I not gone through what I did for kind of like the past year with fighting.
I kind of mentioned it. We are a week away. I think it's safe to say, and again, I'm going to hopefully not jinx this. We're finally about to see you make your debut against Despina Karavas. She goes by Deanna.
Yeah.
Out of Law MMA, so of course, she has the big gym behind her and all that, but they're not fighting in the cage with her. And she comes off of a 2 year layoff almost to the day. Was there anything in particular about this fight that like sparked interest, or was it kind of just like, just give me a damn fight already?
Kind of like the second. But I respect her. I like that she comes from a good gym. I've kind of known about her. We follow each other on Instagram. For a long time, almost all of our careers, we've kind of known about each other. So it makes it kind of exciting that, she is a respectable opponent, and I really respect her for taking the fight, and I'm like grateful for it that like I do have a fight because of her and whatnot. So I'm sure she's eager to get back in there and feels like she has a lot to prove. So we're kind of both in the same situation in regards to we've both been on the shelf for a little while. So yeah, I'm eager to get in there and kind of face against a good opponent.
Nice. And then you're training out of Stout PGH. Something to make your pro debut at home. That was the nice part of like the 247. You were kind of like in your area. You're still in PA. You're just on the whole other side of the state, which you don't realize how long it is until you make that drive. But you also did some traveling for this camp itself too. Like, who all did you work with for this camp?
So for a lot of the camp on the weekends, I would go out to Nicotone and train with Caitlin Chahagan. She was having a fight too coming up, and it was kind of just how it transpired. We had myself, my gym, Warren Stout, this is the owner of the gym, I was lucky enough to be a part of like a training trip where we went to New York and trained, around all those areas. And one of the gyms was Nicotone out there in Jersey. And I met Ryan, one of her coaches, and he was like, oh, I just kind of like talked to him about just, high level, female training like partners. And it'd be cool to maybe get in there. And, if he has anybody that's ever looking for a sparring partner, I'm more than willing to come and make the trip and train with them. So actually that next weekend, Caitlin was looking for some sparring partners for her fight that she had March 9th. And it all kind of just transpired. And I was like, hey, whenever, because, as females, we really don't have a lot of options, and you kind of just like take what you can get. So I was truly honored and really happy and fortunate to train with her. She's a great person, and I learned a lot from her. So, I went out there quite a bit to go train with her, and yeah, that was a huge part of my training camp outside of my home base here at Stout in Pittsburgh.
Nice. I kind of was tipped off a little bit about that. So, what kind of want to give you guys the little like insight to where you kind of spent the weekends and all. I've heard great things out of it too. So, and maybe my level for your debut was already up there with like hearing the Kafaro striking sparring training as well too. Just like add it to it.
Yeah.
With all the obstacles that leading into the debut, like I kind of even feel bad to even ask it. Do you have a prediction for this fight, or is it just making the walk alone is like the goal at this point?
Making the walk is the goal, honestly. I'm like, I keep getting really giddy that like the fight's finally happening. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm fighting a week from now. Like it's just like a very like just a happy feeling. I don't really have a prediction. I just will say I feel very confident. And I think, I think my past year has just like, I mean, why would I not be prepared at this point? Like we're kind of like, well, we just got to send it at this point because I've been really, really training hard, time and time again. So I'm just really excited to just even fight in general.
Are there plans to? I would like to say have another fight this year, but let's just go and try to have another fight this year too, or
Oh
just play
yeah.
it as a.
Yeah. I tried to have one scheduled like even before this one. We were looking at a card in May. The opponent was kind of going back and forth and saying yes and getting a contract signed. Because I've been on the shelf for so long, I just want to like do as many as I can. So I'm really, really hoping for end of May, early June for the next time I fight. And then I would ideally make another, like have another fight before the end of the year. So I would love to end the year 3-0.
No one has actually said, is this fight at bantamweight or featherweight?
This is like a catchweight. It's at 140. Yeah. So I think I am a bantamweight. And I think Diana's more of like she might be featherweight. So we kind of like met in the middle. We're doing 140.
Nice, because I was going back and forth between like your Amy and hers, and she's kind of like she's done featherweight more, and then kind of worked her way down. I think she did bantamweight once, and then 140 seems to be like her go-to. But
Yeah.
it's caught me off guard. No one has kind of announced it's not on Tapology, a
Yeah,
fight
I
poster,
know.
nothing.
Yeah. There wasn't really, there's a fight poster on like the Facebook that they posted, but yeah, it's not really advertised.
So, lastly, I want to pass the mic to you. I mean, you've been through the struggle bus already just to get to the fight itself. You have a ton of supporters behind you who are just eager to see you finally make the walk. I want to pass the mic to you to kind of give the supporters, the sponsors, and all a shout out and kind of the flowers they deserve for supporting you through this time as well. Mike's all
Yeah,
yours.
I mean, definitely. I'm just like super grateful being where I'm at. So first and foremost, Warren Stout for having this incredible gym that we train at, and I have all my great teammates there, and we're really rising. She comes from a big gym, like, but so do I, and I really think Stout in the next couple of years is really going to be put on the map, and we're going to kind of showcase that we are also world class, and we also are up there with those big name gyms. So definitely, my coaches and my teammates there, and everybody at Stout. Like when I was going to fight in December for a home show in Pittsburgh, it was just incredible the support that I received when I was supposed to fight, and then also when the fight fell through. Kind of everybody being there for me really meant a lot to me. Some sponsors that I would like to thank is Janice DeCarlo with Howard and Hannah, Triangle Foundry, Fat Butcher, Drunker Apartments, Dark Stark Gear, Heart and Solve Wellness, Mojo, and Two Fighting Bros. And then lastly, my management, LCA. Everybody working together. I think it's, kind of a fact that like as professional fighters in the beginning, we're not the wealthiest people in the world. And any type of support we can get, especially with these sponsors and, the support from, my management and the gym that I train at is definitely, I'm super grateful for it. So definitely want to give those people a shout out.
Fantastic, yeah. Because even when you get into the UFC, like the money's still not there until like the second contract, and I don't think people understand that you're not a millionaire in your first like big contract. But March 23rd, you finally make your pro debut, Maverick MMA 27. Tickets are still available. I'll link that below if you're in the Broadheadsville, PA area. If you are, I just learned it's not that far from me, but I won't be able to make it next week. Otherwise, you can watch it live on spectationsports.com, which is great. Great show. It's streamed. Every event is always on there. But more importantly, best of skill to you. It's finally your pro debut. Like, this is the time that, this should have been done last year, if we're being honest. And, I look forward to seeing not only, you make this actual walk finally, but where your career goes. I've heard great things, like I kind of mentioned, from like Cafaro during just this camp alone. But, I want to see where this shapes out. Your division alone is looking for new talent. So great timing to start building up there. But, more importantly, though, I want to thank you for your time. You're at the end of your camp. This is probably like the worst time to really start doing interviews. But, I want to thank you for your time, and best of skill next week.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.